Hi, it's Stuart Fraser, PGA Professional at Sneinton Golf, and today we've got a much anticipated review. I've been waiting for this iron to be brought out for quite some time, since Ping first told me about it. It's the brand new i525, brought out in a very competitive market. There's a lot of other clubs on the market currently that contain this hollow pocket cavity with various speed slots and foam inside and stuff like that, so it's about time Ping brought out their own version. I've got to say though, this looks $1 million. And if it performs anything like it looks, and if it feels anything like it looks, it's going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to hitting this one. So let's go through a little bit of technology that's in this brand new i525 head. Ping have brought out a lot of new technology specifically for this iron, so I'm particularly looking forward to hitting it and seeing what it feels like. Hoping the performance is out of this world as well. I'm expecting some serious distance off this club face. They call this new variable face thickness club face a ballistic face, so I am expecting really high ball speeds, massive distance, but also some forgiveness because they've got tungsten weights in the shaft tip, but also in the toe of the golf club that you can see on the end there. It's made out of stainless steel, so 17-4 stainless, so the variable face thickness makes the face sort of contract a little bit more on impact, so you get a little bit of flexing of the face, which makes the ball come off much quicker. There's also the usual, the standard hydropel finish. Now this is called the 2.0, so it's the second version. It makes the club face perform better in all conditions, so if you get some wet weather you're still going to get spin off this club face. But also we've got new micro max grooves to combine to that, so if we have a look at this club face, they've actually managed to fit a couple more grooves on this face. Now that takes the debris away from the golf ball and away from the club face and basically gives us less flyers off the club face. So that's going to give us much more control, a lot more consistency in terms of distance. And also they've fitted these new irons with the latest Project X shaft. This is mine, this is the Project X IO, and it's a 6.0 110 gram, which is pretty much exactly what I will be fitting into. And Ping also send me irons to try my spec. So I've got 4 wraps of tape underneath the grip, it's 4 degrees upright, ½ an inch longer than standard. Very kind of Ping to do this for me, and it's going to help a little bit with this review process because trying a club that's perfectly suited to me, I'm obviously going to hit it a lot better and enjoy it more. But anyway, let's get into this. Let's hit a few shots, see how this thing performs. I've got a few different irons here, from 4-iron through to wedge. I'm going to have a hit with them all, and we'll get some feedback from the flight scope as to how these things go. So here we are again with the i525 in the bay. We're going to have a few shots, get a few shots recorded on the flight scope. The conditions today are gale force head winds, pretty strong out there. I've got the 6-iron out of the irons that they've sent me, and I'm going to go have a go with this i525 forged. But first of all, looking down at it, I've got to say it's a really nice looking iron. There's minimal offset. With most Ping irons you do get a little bit of offset nowadays, but they've certainly tried to make this look more like a player's iron with the technology in the back covered up. It's a very plain, very simple back, classic look. Quite a thin top line, but also so that minimal offset really makes it look aesthetically really pleasing. They've forged these irons, so they're going to hopefully feel nice and soft off the club face, give me some nice feedback. They've also apparently put a targeted EVA polymer insert in these. Now that's supposed to control the sound, but also the feel off the club face, make it feel a little bit more solid. And I'm hoping it sounds a little bit less hollow than one or two of the other sort of hollow pocket cavity irons on the market. Let's have a couple of shots with this thing and see how this feels. Been looking forward to this for months. Wow. So this thing feels really fast. I like the noise that came off the club face there with. Sounded nice, felt really good. It wasn't quite out the centre, but that came off like a rocket. That face is definitely ballistic. So there's some of the longest shots I feel as I've hit. We won't know until we look at the data, but it feels super fast off the club face, and I actually quite like the sound. One more. Feels absolutely beautiful. So that's one of the best feeling irons I've hit in a while, and you can see from this I've actually 3 shots and I've hit 3 completely different strikes off the club face, and they all felt and went all right. So I can confirm this is a really forgiving iron. I would even say maybe one of the strikes there is well towards the toe of the golf club. You may even be able to get one or two sort of mid to high handicappers into this, even though it looks very much player's ironish. I don't think anybody's going to have a problem hitting this at all. And if you're looking for distance, this definitely could be the one for you. So I've had a few shots with the 4 iron, 6 iron, 8 iron that they've sent, a few full swings. Here I've got the pitching wedge. So this is one of the scoring clubs. Now you may remember, if you've watched our G425 review, that I was particularly impressed by the quality and the look of the wedges in that set. They didn't look too bigger headed, they weren't clumsy in any way, they felt really nice off the club face, unlike a lot of game improvement irons on the market. So I was expecting quite good things from the i525. Just looking down on the i525 wedge, this looks really, really slim from the top, and it looks really pretty. It's a nice shape. It's a typical sort of teardrop type shape. You can't see any of the technology in the back. There's no thick top line at all. It sits behind the ball absolutely beautifully. There's virtually no offset. And if we just clip a few shots away with this, it feels brilliant. It feels really soft off the club face. A little bit of water on these golf balls, and yet those Micro Max grooves and the Hydro Pile finish are really doing their job. Feels brilliant. There's absolutely no need in my eyes to be going down like the specialist wedge route. If the wedges in the set are this good, it feels absolutely as good as anything I've used, and the shape is just perfect. I mean, I even wouldn't mind opening this up a little bit, so opening the face up a touch and just playing one in there a little bit higher. This is a really versatile iron, and it feels like it's going to spin the ball a lot as well, so maximum control, huge amount of forgiveness again, and something that looks really, 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 really pretty. Feels solid. It's got absolutely everything as this pitching wedge from the i525 set. So I can now say I've thoroughly tested this i525 iron, and it's been a really fun hour of hitting golf balls, trying to hit some different shots, getting used to the feel of these off the club face. And they are some of the best feeling irons I've ever tried. We've got a bit of data on the flight scope from the shots I've hit. I say I've used all the irons, 4, 6, 8, and the pitching wedge that they sent us. It was nice having a bit of a play with that pitching wedge there, hitting a few shots at the green, a few short shots, chip shots. Feels fabulous. But the long shots, I was really surprised. The one thing that really got me about these was how fast these are off the face. Sometimes that scares me a little bit, because fast off the face with one or two of the other bigger headed golf clubs sometimes means inconsistency. I was hoping that polymer insert inside the head there maybe controls the distance a little bit better. But we'll see from these flight scope numbers. Now, I was hitting this a long way into wind. Now, I didn't compare it to anything else, so I'm not quite certain as to how this performs to, say, some of its rivals. However, I can confirm that I was hitting this nearly 160 yards, 158, 157, 154 yards into this, I would say, 3 club wind out there today with a 6 iron. That's a long way for me, and just looking at the ball speeds, they're a lot higher than what I would normally expect. So I know this thing is going to go a long way. It's going to be one of the longest irons we've ever tested. The thing that really surprised me and put a big smile on my face was confirmation that this thing is going to be consistent as well. So for the good player that wants to play something like this, it's just a little more forgiving but still gives feel. You're going to get a bit more distance off the club face, but right across the board, ball speed for me, 126, 127, 125, 126, 127, 127, 126. So consistent. Even on the misses, the drop-offs actually weren't that large. Maybe went down to like 122. But that was for some really toey strikes, which I do tend to get occasionally. So the reason why I'd put this in the bag is because it's super forgiving. It gives me that yardage that maybe I feel as I'm losing as I'm getting older. But also, every bit as good a feel and forged feel as what I would expect from a really good player's golf club. And again, looking down on this thing, it looks beautiful from the top, from the back, from every angle. This thing looks absolutely great. I love the fact that they've introduced the Project X shaft into their new irons. That's one that I would choose personally. Had really high quality components. Everything about this golf club just screams quality. This is certainly one that I'm dying to put in the bag and try on the golf course. I'd love to get it out there. I'll be looking at buying a set of these pretty soon, I would imagine. All in all, great set of irons, load of new technology in the head. Ping have produced something really different here, certainly something to rival its competitors. And I would expect this to perform fantastically well for all people that are looking at getting an iron fitting soon and looking for something around this sort of price point. Absolutely brilliant. I'm astounded by it. So that concludes our Ping i525 iron review. What a great product this is. I'm sure we'll sell absolutely hatfuls of this thing. Get yourself booked in, get a fitting for these, have a try for yourself. Don't forget, we've got loads of great content coming soon, so keep an eye on our channel for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.